Hey, how are you? My name is Ben and I'm a movie buff. Apologies for not having done a video in about a year. 2021 was pretty busy for me. When I was not busy, I was feeling a little lazy. But here we have a video where I'm going to be talking about the best movies that I saw in the year 2021. I'm sure, as some of you know, it doesn't matter what year any given movie came out that I watched. As long as I watched it in the year 2021, it counts towards this list. So let's get to some honorable mentions. The Sound of Metal, Another Round, I Lost My Body, The Lost Weekend, Bad Education, Dune, Dersu Uzala, A Quiet Place Part 2, Pather Panchali, Mitchells vs. the Machines, and Tick Tick Boom. Coming in at number 15 is Tenet. Christopher Nolan's latest mind-bending action movie is a blast, especially in the second half. At number 14, Minari, a beautiful film featuring the always likable Steven Yeun, and it's the kind of film that washes over you. There are moments with and without conflict, but they are both equally powerful. At number 13 is In the Heights. You can't go wrong with Lin-Manuel Miranda, and this musical is colorful, catchy, full of energy, and has an incredible opening number, one that I visited several times after initially seeing it. Number 12, Paris, Texas. This movie really tugs at your heartstrings, but it does so in such a reserved way. There's no over-the-top performances or cheesy music telling you what to feel. Number 11 is Children of Heaven. Unconditional love for one's family lies at the heart of this wonderful film. There are also some very clever story developments that kept me engaged throughout. At number 10, The Secret in Their Eyes. This is a 2009 crime drama from Argentina and deals with a man who's been trying to find the criminal who raped and killed a woman. It bounces back and forth between the initial investigation in the mid-1970s to the late 2000s, where our agent protagonist is older and reflecting on that case. There's no shortage of tense moments in this gripping mystery, along with some fun twists and turns. At number 9 is Encanto. Disney has still got it. While they still hold on to some familiar ingredients, for example, we have a spunky protagonist like we do in Moana, the strongest element here is a story that has a unique spin and follows through on an important element which I won't spoil here. Normally, a family that has superpowers would be fighting some sort of villain trying to gain global dominance, but not here. The actual antagonist is someone that's in the family, that are helping others in the community, and therefore they believe they're doing the right thing. This movie looks phenomenal and has some catchy songs by Lin-Manuel Miranda. At number 8, One Night in Miami. Muhammad Ali, Sam Cooke, Jim Brown, and Malcolm X all hang out together for one evening. And while this didn't actually happen in history, it's pretty cool to watch it unfold. The gang laugh with each other, but they also challenge each other too. Regina King really succeeds in having these exchanges and moments mean something to our characters. In some way, shape, or form, these 4 characters are all changed by just one night in Miami. Number 7 is Tangerines. Imagine a story where 2 soldiers on opposite sides of a war have to be nursed back to health by an old man who wants nothing to do with the war. These soldiers will eventually try to harm each other, but maybe they can learn how to get along. This is the story of Tangerines, and I wouldn't fault you for thinking that this synopsis is something that might be cliched and predictable if it were made into a movie. But to my pleasant surprise, this movie really packed a punch. Metaphorically, that is. If you have a really good story, compelling characters, and believable performances, you can turn a basic story into something more. Out of all the foreign films I watched this year, Tangerines was without a doubt the best. Coming in at number 6 is The Vast of Night. What's so exceptional about this small science fiction story is its simple approach. Characters walk and talk together, and then they walk and talk to other characters that may have seen aliens before. They talk with them, and they walk again and go and talk to other people. There's a lot of walking and talking. We get some excitement in the last 10 minutes, but most of this movie is a less is more approach. And it really works. It also helps that the camera movement is some of the best I've seen in recent years. At number 5 is Zack Snyder's Justice League. Maybe this director's cut is a little too long, but what a revelation to see Snyder's version compared to the shallow theatrical version we got 4 years ago. We get to spend more time with Flash and Cyborg here, and it makes sense given that they didn't have their own solo movies leading up to the Justice League. I love their new scenes. They both get more depth, and it really helps make this experience more complete. At number 4 is The Suicide Squad. When I saw the 2016 Suicide Squad back in theaters a number of years ago, I thought it was fine. Not a perfect movie, but enjoyable enough. Then shortly after seeing that movie, a couple years later, I heard that they were rebooting it and that James Gunn was going to be at the helm. And I thought to myself, I don't care. Why are we doing this again? We already got one, it's fine. Why are we doing another one? Well, after seeing the 2021 The Suicide Squad in theaters, I finally realized, I finally understood why they were doing it again. The stakes are real here. Anyone could die at any time. We also get to know our characters better, so that when some of them do die, we're devastated. And while the 2016 version didn't resonate with me that much, the 2021 version has so much heart despite the intense amount of violence and language we see in here. It's very funny, I laughed many times, and while this may sound ridiculous, I think this is James Gunn's best movie. Yes, I liked it better than Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 3, Spider-Man No Way Home. This movie is remarkable. While I enjoyed Homecoming and Far From Home, No Way Home has the task of finishing Tom Holland's trilogy on a high note, and boy does it deliver. There are so many amazing things that happen in this movie. The audience I saw it with in theaters cheered several times throughout, and they were right to do so. Marvel strikes gold again. Number 2, News of the World. Like some other movies on this list, this one definitely covers some familiar territory. But when you have the director of The Bourne Supremacy and Captain Phillips at the helm, you know you're in good hands. Tom Hanks plays Captain Kyle Jefferson Kidd, a war veteran who dedicates his time to telling crowds about the news that is happening in the world. Many gather to hear the good and bad stories that he has to share. Now, part of the movie is him telling others about the news, but most of it deals with him coming across a young girl who doesn't speak English and returning her to her aunt and uncle. They don't get along at first, but that may change. The performances are top-notch, and I love how they work Tom Hanks' news job into the story. It's not something that remains in the background. He is so on point with his job that he uses it in a few different ways to his advantage. This also allows us to learn more about his character. The movie is slow here and there, but never boring. And the number 1 movie of 2021 is Promising Young Woman. I'm sure you've heard of this subgenre of movies where a woman gets raped and then she gets revenge on her rapists and destroys them, right? Promising Young Woman is such an effective tweak on that ugly category of films. Carey Mulligan plays Cassie, a girl who used to be friends with someone who was raped and then killed herself due to her trauma. Cassie wants to avenge her friend, but not by physically torturing them, by getting into their heads and scaring the living daylights out of them. There's barely any action in this movie. It primarily consists of Cassie talking to different kinds of people. The Oscar-winning writing by Emerald Fennell is so flawless that I was captivated with every single conversation, whether it was Cassie intimidating a wrongdoer or talking to someone that she loves. There are some beautiful scenes here that surprised me too. This isn't a basic story about a girl taking sadistic pleasure in making people's lives a living hell. She's trying to get some sort of justice along the way. The depth in this movie really makes you think, and also makes you want to talk with others who've seen the movie too. Oh, and the last 30 minutes of this movie are equal parts shocking and satisfying in the best way possible. So those are my favorite movies of 2021. Please sure to tell me about some of your favorite movies down in the comments below. Thank you as always for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.